motherfucker? Hi, church boys. Saint Robert here in Belgrade, Serbia, sitting next to the one and only
Mr. T.
Mr. T. And welcome to Saint Robert's Day Game Pickup Podcast, episode number 25. And today, as per Frank's request, we will talk about how to fuck several or harems, how to have regulars, how to keep them around, how to get them, and how to keep things interesting, and also important, how to get rid of a regular. Because sometimes you fuck a girl once and she just randomly disappears, but you would want to see her again, but you don't. It never happens. Or you sleep with a girl a few times and she becomes really clingy and wants more attention, wants to see you every other day, wants to sleep with you more, wants to introduce you to her friends, her parents, basically wants a relationship. And even when you get a nice regular, especially with Russians, this is really true with Russians, once in a while you'll get crazy drama where she will send you messages several days in a row, and it's just drama queens. And it's a big mess, and wouldn't it be fucking nice if you could just have several hot regulars, each special with something else, one for amazing blowjobs, another one for fucking her hardcore BDSM style, another one more for cuddling and chilling out. And of course, wouldn't it be nice to get them together for some threesomes? And in this podcast, me and Mr. T, we will tell you how we ran our harems. And maybe if you are a fresh listener to this podcast, and a bit of an intro. So I am Saint Robert. I'm a 32-year-old not crazy, but day gamer. And I am approaching 100 lays lifetime, around half of which have been day game. And you can imagine that if I'm approaching 100 lays, then a lot of those girls, I have slept with them parallel, one to another. Several threesomes, both where I'm bringing together several girls I'm seeing, and I'm bringing them together, and cases where girls bring over their friends. I've even had cases where a girl just sent her friend over to my place just so that I fucked the girl and that's it. So that has been my experience with harems, with seeing several girls at the same time. Mr. T, what's your story?
I'm a little bit new to the whole harem thing.
A little bit new.
A little bit new. About 2-3 months. I just had. Turns out I had a really good run come late July, late August, and I think I had about 5, almost 6 girls.
Regularly? Parallel?
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit, how am I going to manage this? So I did have one from early in the year who kind of just stuck in, and then many more just showed up. I had this one 3 weeks where number after number just converted. And so they've been showing up regularly. Each has different personalities in a way, so I get to try out different things, and the experiences are very different. One is this super cute short girl, and she seems very somewhat shy, but she's like hardcore BDSM, hardcore everything, and I don't even know if I'm hardcore enough yet for her. To be honest. Yeah. But we'll get there. And then, the others are kind of work in progress. But yeah, it's been a good run so far.
Okay, I love how your voice is so soothing.
That's what they always say.
Deep and... wait, and what? Because you've been in day game for quite a while. We met almost 2 years ago, I think. No, a year ago.
Almost exactly a year.
Yeah, but you've had your fair share of success since that. So what happened until then? Was it mostly one night stands or?
It was one-offs, and I can't really. Yeah, sometimes I could not get the girl to show up a second time, right? right? Like you do the first date, maybe do the pool on the first date. And I think in one situation, I did not, before I got a ride to take her back home, I did not actually set the proper context, letting her know that, like, she was cool and that, like, she'd do this again. I think it was really late and she had to rush out, and I never got to have that little statement kind of set the precedent for the next date. And it was only a week or so later that I randomly ran into her after trying to set up another date that I invited her out again, but she was just always busy. And sometimes especially for New York, sometimes people just disappear because they're probably working hard or something. Who knows? It's New York.
Okay.
I also didn't know what the fuck I was doing for the most part.
Okay, this will be an interesting conversation because even before I started doing day game, I did a lot of things. I met girls through, well, wherever I went, I used to sell insurances and I banked several of my prospects. Girls I knew from business, from hobbies. I used to run a Live Your Legend local group in Riga, where as a leader of this group, I was pretty easy to meet girls there. And before day game, I did Tinder as well. I always, when I was single as fuck. It was always several girls. So I kind of did this from the beginning. I always had several girls at the same time and was pretty open with them about it. Most of the times they knew it, but as we will soon talk, you'll see that not always it's that easy. But before we get into what to do and how all of this works, let's talk about the magical moment where you have several hot regulars and you don't need to day game anymore, where you have these amazing chicks. What are your thoughts on this magical moment? Are you waiting for it to happen?
That magical moment probably lasted like 5 minutes. No, it never happened. If you get into day game, I don't know, you have to know why you got into day game. But if you got into day game for the sex, sure, I guess you could leave it. But to be honest, I don't think I got into day game for just the sex. The sex is kind of an end goal, but there's so much in there that I could just not be like, okay, I'm done. Right? Different girls, different personalities. There's just so much more to explore. And any person who feels like they're going to reach that time, maybe they will. They're probably lazy, I don't know. But chances are you're not going to that hunger is not going to go away. Maybe for a moment, but I doubt it's going to go away. It hasn't gone away for me. How about for you?
I've had my breakdowns. I've had my day game breakdowns where my last real day game breakdown was after I coached Mr. Wee a year back in Krakow. I didn't do a single set for 1.5 months. I went back to Riga. I had overgamed the city. I've opened almost every hot chick. Sorry if you're a hot chick from Riga and listening to this. I probably just haven't met you, and you are hot. Don't worry, you're not ugly. Or whatever else you want to think. I don't care. I've definitely had my downtimes, my breakdowns, but I don't think the magic of having several regulars and not needing day game anymore happens. It can happen for a few months, and when I have my periods where I don't want a day game, like I don't like winter for day game, but I still do day game. But I can afford to not do sets for a few months just because I have a few regulars. I still go to... I might go to some random birthday party and like get some leads there by randomly talking to chicks. And I went to a birthday party a year ago and banged 2 chicks from that birthday party. One I simply banged, and then she sent her friend, who was also at that party, to my apartment just so that she could fuck me.
I think we're going to get into good fucks later on.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
So, having regulars really allows you to just chill out a bit when you want to, but regulars come and go. or they get into relationships, they get clingy, they understand it's not for them. That happens a lot. And you also get bored by them. They start making so much drama that you're like, and then you have this reality check. I've definitely had my reality checks where I'm like, they are like starting to make drama, and I think, well, do I want to see her? Not really. She's making drama, but what options do I have? Now I have to go on day game, and so the homeostasis never really occurs, or it's never there. So I don't really believe in that. And so don't listen to this and expect to get like a harem-like lifestyle where you don't have to day game anymore and all the chicks are yours and one of them is cooking, another is cleaning, while the three others are sucking your dick. It's doable. It can happen, but don't expect it to be a regular thing forever. Definitely, what is important to understand, why should you be good with dating multiple girls, and what are the problems you can have, and let's talk disaster stories.
Yeah, we got a few of those, don't we? Yeah, I guess I'm going first.
Yeah, do with the nosy girl.
Yeah, all right. So this was a girl I dated when I was in San Francisco, and that was it was kind of a nice lead, because the way that happened is I closed her one weekend, and then like midweek she's like, "What are you up to this weekend?" Hint, hint. So what I did was we go out. I think we were out for like 5 minutes. Met at a bar, and she was like, "Okay, let's get out of here." So we step out, order my Uber, and that was the quickest date I ever had. So straight to my apartment. And I think, so this is one thing that you know how earlier I told you that in New York, like I missed that one step where I told the girl, "Hey, you can come back." This time I did. I was like, in the morning, because she spent the night over, I was like, "Hey, you want to do this again? We should meet up again. I could do something else," and then like just hang. So fast forward 2 weeks later, I'm about to leave San Francisco. So I invite her over. We go to the bar, not too far from my place. It was about a 5-minute walk. And while we're there, we're talking, and I'm throwing lots of hints about like my lifestyle and how I don't follow the general rules that society has set. So I'm just hinting in there. And she seems to be open, and she kind of like, she adds on her own thing to that. Head over to mine. And this is the best part. So I had these little GoPro things. I just bought this Polaroid cube thing, and it happened to be on my desk. And so when we walk into my apartment, she sees it, and she's like, "What do you use this for?" And I was like, "Well, I need to do photography, but I've always wondered if I could like film my own porno, because I thought that would be really cool." And guess what she says? She's like, "You know what? I want to do a POV. Do you have something to strap that to my head?" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Oh snap!"
She knows what POV means.
Yeah. She's like, "Wait, POV? Like, where's the camera?" She's like, "It's on my head while I'm like facing you." I'm like, "Okay, cool. This is gonna be interesting." So I go looking in my closet for something to fix this thing on her head, and it so happens that while I'm doing that, she's going over the stuff on my desk. I had my day game book, one of the day game books by Nick Krause. It was like on that table.
The first one, or the...
It was Day Game Mastery, but
this is the first one.
Probably, who knows? It's one of the day game books.
Okay.
And Nick is very he's very crass and his language is very, very strong, right?
Yeah.
If a girl reads it, she's gonna be like, "Oh fuck," right? Anyway, she's flipping through the pages. She lands on a page where I'd highlighted. He's talking about weaseling, and he's like, "You guys shouldn't weasel unless you're in San Francisco, where the girls are not very pretty." And I had literally put a line over there and been like, "Yes, very true." She points at it and is like, "What's this?" I'm like, I mean, it's kind of true. I'm half naked. She closes the book. She looks at me, picks her bag, and she's like, "I'm going to leave now." And she's just trying to get out of the door like I was a serial killer. And I'm standing there like half naked, not knowing what to do, and being like, "Well, I told you what I did." She's like, "Yeah, but I didn't really know if that was really what you did." And she leaves.
Okay.
Yeah, that did not feel good at all.
It's actually interesting. What did she ask about? What is this? Was this about the ugly?
She did read. She did see some of the pages, right? Like she actually read some of the language in some of the pages. But then at some point, she did also stop on the thing that mentioned San Francisco because she was looking at the highlights, the places where I underlined. So she was like, well, she points at it, and I was like, yeah, I mean, like some girls in San Francisco aren't pretty. I did not say she wasn't pretty. I was just like, yeah, it's kind of true. Like some people are not pretty, but they have big egos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Logic doesn't really work that way, so.
Was she pissed about the pretty thing or about day game in general?
I have no idea. I think really she felt manipulated in a way because it did talk about street approaches. Like there were things in there like the approach. He's broken that book down into the approach, the number close. So she kind of like sold that stuff. And she probably.
How did you react to it? Strong frame or oh my god, I was caught like a little.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't like I was caught. Kind of. That wasn't how I was feeling. It was more like, I mean, the language in there is kind of crass, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was more of like logical mindset.
Yeah, but I think you can kind of, treat it as a shit test and maybe go around it, but well, who knows?
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
No, yeah, well, that's the right idea. Who gives a fuck?
By the way, the ending to that thing is that 8 months later, after I'd left San Francisco, she texts me out of the blue, random shit. She's like, "Hey, are you in San Francisco?" I'm like, "No, I'm in New York." And she's like, "Cool."
That's it.
Yeah, no. Then 3 months later, she sends me another text. "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "I don't live in San Francisco anymore." She's like, "Oh, okay, cool."
So she wanted to fuck. And you said you were giving some hints.
Yeah.
What hints did you give her at the bar?
So one of the things was she was like, I think it was about, I mentioned that I talk to everybody and that it's something that's become part of me to just talk to strangers in any situation as a way to, one, therapy for me for not being introverted because it was very hard for me to interact with people at parties and everything. And I mentioned that, I speak to anybody that's interesting, and sometimes I've gone out with those people. And some people are adventurous, some people aren't. But my life, this is what I'm talking about, my life got better the moment I started talking to strangers. And I've been on so many adventures that could not have been replicated if I hadn't been living this lifestyle. So that's somewhat of a paraphrase of the direction I was going in. And after that, I went into, sexual topics of sorts. Because I was trying to figure out how sexually adventurous she was, which is how we ended up talking about the whole porn thing when we stepped into my apartment. Because I thought I'd set the frame well enough that she understood that I was a super sexual being. But I don't know if that really sunk.
Okay. That's definitely, I think, is something to think about, like giving her hints so that she understands what's going on. But we will talk about that a bit later because you are kind of responsible for how she views what's going on. Because one case I had was, I think it was before day game or right about when I started day gaming. I met this chick in an event where I was talking and we had a few dates and we slept and then we started seeing each other, like sleeping like once a week or so. And it got kind of awkward because it was this New Year's Eve, but we weren't partying. We were just chilling at her place and funking and she said, listen, well, basically her parents lived like not far away, like 20-minute walk, and she just wanted to go over there for some dinner. And I was really sure she knew what's going on. I asked her, won't it be awkward? I wanted to make sure. It's like, no, it will all be fine. And I was pretty sure she knew I was seeing other girls a few months later, or not even a few months later, but like a month later or two. She just understands that like, she kind of got I was pretty open about it, but I think I never told her directly that I'm sleeping with other girls. And she's like, "Wow, oh my God, have you slept with anyone else while you were sleeping with me?" And I just said like the cockiest answer I could come up with. I just like, "Wait, sweetie, do you want to know whether I've slept with anyone else or with how many other girls I've slept?" She was really angry. She was really pissed. So you can end up with really like bad situations if the girl doesn't know what's going on, if she doesn't understand your subtle hints. So you have to be careful with that. And another disaster story I want to talk about is when you have a regular. Well, one thing is they will become clingy. Some of them will become clingy. There are several ways to handle it, but you sometimes, especially with Russian chicks, because I have several Russian regulars, and they will make drama once in a while. And when Russian chicks make drama, they make drama. They'll send you text messages, and you can try to treat them as shit tests, but I just don't respond to them.
Mm-hmm.
I just ignore them so long that they send a long apologetic text about how they were like emotional and crazy and oh, I'm so sorry, da 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 da. So you have to be careful. Things like that happens. Things like that happen all the time. Okay, but let's start with what you were struggling longer than 3 months ago. How to get a regular. Mm-hmm. So what was your thing? How did you go from sleeping with a girl once to having her as a regular?
Right. So again, I feel that this always, because in San Francisco I used to get regulars when I was still very beginner day gamer. But one of my friends actually did ask him, like, dude, how'd you get the girls to come back? And it's like, well, before they leave, you should tell them, I really enjoyed this and we should do it again. Right? And it was only once I learned to say that at least I gave that hint that was not a one-off and that we could actually meet again. And that has pretty much been one thing that I always do once a girl has come over before she leaves, or like at some point before, not necessarily while she's leaving, but sooner. I always put that out there, and it helps to seed. Sometimes it helps to seed what you could possibly do next time. So I think for one, I was like, I want to tie you up the next time, because she said she was a photographer and she's like, I would like you to be my model. I was like, well, if I'm going to be your model, then you have to let me also tie you up so that I can take pictures of you. And she's like, cool, deal. This is before we actually had sex. Well, in my bed, but I didn't yet have sex. So I was like, but yeah, she was like, cool. So at this point, we already had a thing to do for the next time. And I already had the ropes over. And it was like, cool, this is what we're doing. And it was going to happen at my place. So that was set up. I guess also for the very first girl I met, my first regular in New York, same thing. Her, as I mentioned, the ropes and BDSM, literally about 10 minutes into the date. We're holding hands and we're walking around the venue, and I got her arm and I twisted it behind her back, and she was pretty okay with it. And so I turned and I look at her deeply and I'm like, are you into BDSM? And she's like, maybe. And I'm like, because it feels like you would be, like, just based on the way I'm holding you right now, I thought you'd be uncomfortable. And she's like, no. I was like, cool. So 20 minutes later, we're at my place. And I told her, okay, right, I'll tie you up next time.
Yeah, so seeding. We might run into a problem because now guys heard that.
Don't tie everybody up.
No. We like don't twist girls' hands behind her back 10 minutes into date, unless you
know what the fuck you're doing. Unless
you have had like tens of lays and you're like this great day giver, then you can start doing it. If you do it before you are calibrated, you will be a crazy maniac, and will be really fucked up.
Disclaimer: take that with big disclaimer. Don't be twisting girls' arms.
Yes, and tying them up before you fuck them. I've tied girls up before I fucked them for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like putting them on their knees and like starting throat fucking them brutally before sex. And she turned out to be a regular.
But yeah, I guess to just finish my bit of the it's you tell them they have the option of coming back for one, and also seeding it and seeing how they respond to it.
Yeah, I definitely do seeding. And a little hack I do is, and we spoke about this with you before, is sometimes a girl, like you just had sex with her, and if you invite her straight over to your place, she might feel like, oh, this is like, we're just fucking, and in a negative way, she might feel like some girls like feeling like fuck toys, and she might not like it. So what I tend to do, because I had recently this girl, 20-year-old girl that Frank opened in Riga and went on a date, and I opened her a few days later. And I had a date on the same day with her, I slept with her on the second date. When I slept with her for the second time, I told her greetings from Frank.
Hi, Frank.
But the second time was pretty, like, she didn't want to come over to mine. She said, yeah, but I don't know how I feel about this, I said, listen, there's this really nice spot in Riga by the river. Let's grab some beers. Let's go chill out there. If we feel like we want to go, we will. If not, we will not. So what I do is I sometimes meet them outside for the second time we see each other, or like for the second time we sleep together. I will either see them outside, like for a little adventure thing, like walk in a park or one drink, or I'll set up we will meet at mine, but we will meet for something like cooking burgers, which is my thing. I make the best burgers in all the game community. And I use it for pooling and for seeding. And yeah, that's what I do. Sometimes I don't invite them straight over for sex. I will find another reason to meet them. And well, sex is kind of implied. Let's talk a bit about girls staying over. If you want them as regulars, of course, if you have a fast pool and you know that you both know what's going on, then a lot of the times they will not stay over. Girls that want to stay over are usually the nice girls that like are tiny, at least in my experience, are tiny bit like unexperienced with fucking random dudes, but not always.
How fast are we talking here?
Like a regular first date thing. But I've had a girl who had more lace than me that was quite clingy and stayed over and was like way too cuddly, and it was hard to get her out of the apartment in the morning. So it's not always true. There are exceptions for sure. But I am fine with them staying over for the most case. I have nothing, especially with regulars. Half of my regulars, let me think about it actually. I have half of my regulars stay over and half of them leave after sex. And we have this dynamic with each of them, so...
Yeah, I think it depends on the context, because if it's like, hey, this is they're just feeling horny and they know where they can get some, then it's like, I'm just going to show up and get back to my other stuff, right? Versus those who are like, I want to hang out and get fucked. Yeah, because there are girls that I hang like that. We're like, hey, like this is basically the idea. As we might send a text, like giving hints that she wants to be fucked brutally and come over. We chat for an hour, because I always chat with them for an hour or two, have a bottle of wine, and then fuck, and they might leave afterwards. Or with others, we are meeting, we might chill out and have sex, but she'll stay over, and basically there are girls that always stay over, and I think that's fine. I am not against it, as long as you have several girls, as long as you don't have one girl that stays over more than once a week regularly, and like you go out with her for dinner and shit like that, then it's bad. But in general, I'm totally fine with regulars staying over. What about you? I usually prefer that they stay over I am a fuck twice guy, so fuck in the night, fuck in the morning. Plus, it also gives me enough time to experiment with different things, right?
Surprise anal middle of the night.
Yeah, man. Like, just I set the seed for what the next visit's gonna be based on something new I learned, or right.
Yeah.
But it's always been, I don't know. It's always been kind of I've been at people's places over, and I had to leave like in the middle of the night, and I really hate having to get back to my place in the middle of the night. So, so I wouldn't wish that for anybody. And if it's usually I try not to fuck somebody I don't like. That's happened maybe once, twice, or thrice. But most of the time, if I'm fucking someone, I'm cool with them staying in my bed. And I always set up my apartment so that it's almost like a bed and breakfast hotel. So I have like lots of extra toothbrushes. I have hotel towels. I have nice shampoos and everything. And it's up to them. I'll be like, hey, like I have shampoo, towels, and everything. You can take a shower if you want. If not, your call. But I like to leave fresh, so I set it up so that everyone else leaves fresh. But yeah, long story short, I give them the option to stay over. They always do.
In your dick and breakfast hotel.
Dick and breakfast. The best dick ever. I think I'm running a brothel, who knows? One person brothel.
I think we're all running our little brothels. Well, now I don't because I don't have an apartment anymore. I'm bumfull using Airbnbs. Okay, so that's with staying over. My place definitely doesn't have the luxuries of bed and breakfast. We laughed with you a little bit about how often we change sheets.
Yeah.
And I wash them like once a week, and maybe that's even optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
And I normally have sex like every other day, so I should be more respectful towards girls with this thing. But there were, if a regular is coming over that's staying over, I'll probably change sheets just out of respect because she's a regular, and I think it's just more respectful. But in general, I don't really care about things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's next? How to avoid regulars becoming clingy. Have you encountered this? Or is it more...
I don't know what the level of clingy we're talking about here is.
Like wanting to see you more and more, like wanting relationships.
I haven't gotten to that point. I think my cadence is about 2 weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
Like one
between, yeah, like I would see, yeah, the cadence of seeing someone is about between 2 weeks to 4 weeks. Now that I'm traveling, it's pretty much going to be a month, which means I'm going to have a lineup. I'm going to have a lineup to like do a whole week of a lot of sorting things out. Yeah, I'm going to have to schedule a bunch of...
Dude, I'm going to Riga next Monday, and I have like one evening free with the chicks.
With how many?
It's like a lineup.
Oh, dude.
But I'm spending most of my days with one of my regulars. That's this little special thing. And then I'm meeting some other regulars, and I have one first date with a chick that randomly sent me a message, hey, remember me? And I told if I saw your Facebook, I'd remember you. And she says, well, you walked up to me and talked to me in the street.
Ace.
I know her name, and I have my big Excel, so I have a few ideas who she might be. But if the date happens and if I sleep with her, I will ask, wait, listen, like, who are you? Who the fuck are you? Yeah, so I have this date. But what I do, there are several things to talk about when it comes to clinginess. And I think the number one thing is what should the girl know? Should the girl know there are other girls? And in my case is very easy. Because I'm a day game coach. So I tell them what I do for a living, but I do not do that on the first time we sleep. I've learned my lesson that if I tell what I do the first time we have sex, they feel really used, they feel bad, and I never see them again. Almost never. There was one girl, though, to whom I told this before we had sex. But she was the sugar baby, so she didn't go fuck. She wasn't the pure and angelic, just as, yeah. So what I do, I tell them what I do after the second time we have sex. That's my rule. Never the first time. If I don't want to see her again,
you tell her.
I might tell her after the first time I sleep with her. But in general, I tell her after the second time we have sex. And of course, but the thing is, I'm a dating coach, so like I'm just open about my life. But what about how can you use this if you just are day gaming, seeing other girls? What I used to do previously is when I slept with a girl for the second time, I just mentioned that, listen, you're a really great girl. I love this, what we're doing. I just want you to know that I'm not really a relationship type of guy, but I would love to see you again. But just know that don't expect a relationship out of me. And I used to tell this after the second time we slept. What's your take on this?
On which part? The
being subtle, or being completely honest about banging other chicks.
Well, I haven't gotten to the point where I had to explicitly say it, but they do drop hints, like saying, "Hey, but you must have lots of girls." Like,
how do you respond?
I don't say anything. I just ignore it.
Yeah, it's a shit test.
I mean, I don't say shit. I just ignore it. I just go on to whatever other topic. It's like never happened. Like, I hear it, but it goes in one ear, out the other. And it's funny that I don't do that deliberately. I just always, I remember now that it happens. I just don't acknowledge it.
Because once you get abundance, you pass frame tests automatically.
Potentially.
And you start texting girls, like you have a date at your place and she's like token LMR. She's like, she's showing token LMR. And I might actually automatically text other girls because I'm horny and I want to fuck. And I'm just like, I'm not pretending to text. I'm texting other girls, hey, like, what are you up to? Let's bang.
Because you have that option, but like, oh, well, it's kind of like autopilot. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're being this, not so nice. Okay, I'll fuck someone else. And you not responding to their frame test is, I think, a very good sign of abundance. Like, really not giving a fuck. Yeah. If a girl would ask me that, I'd say, shit, I would use agree and amplify. Because I think that even, in my opinion, that even stronger, it's an even stronger sign that, come on, girl. I'd say like, no, baby, you were my first one. I was a virgin before you. You're my only one. And I'm already ordered flowers and just over-exaggerating really hardcore so show that okay, so
there is one thing though, and I don't know how this affects. So I do have this box of 36 or 48 condoms that's always in my bathroom, and every single time before I have sex, I always just bring the box out, or I have the box and I just bring a ridiculous amount of condoms. And no girl ever asked me why I have those many condoms, but I imagine they're like, well, I mean, I have no idea.
You can say shit like,
yeah,
the only problem with having so many condoms is they have an expired date, so I must use them really quickly.
No, I use them all.
I don't know, but it's like a joke.
It's
a really bad thing to say.
I actually have to get exactly the same condom so that it looks like the box is not. Sometimes I do get exactly the same just to make it look like the box is not getting depleted.
I think it's the other way around would be better.
Well, there's one box of condoms and then there's one under my sink that I never use. It's always opened. And I guess if they did look under my sink, I don't know. But they just know that the condoms all over my place.
I think that it would be nice if they saw that the box is getting emptier. That would be really dope.
Last time I counted, there were.
I do post stories where it's sometimes visible I'm with another girl. Mm-hmm. I might post an Instagram picture where it's visible that I'm with another girl, just so that they get the hints about what's going on. But I'm pretty open about that. How often do you see your regulars? Oh, you said once.
Yeah, it's
once
about
4
2
weeks.
weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. If I know I'm going to be out of town for a bit, I will reduce it to about a week at a time because trying to make up for the time I'm going to be gone. I don't know if I have to, but I prefer to.
Yeah. For me, it's I have regulars that I really see regularly. Oh, but the regularity also changes. Like you might see each other like once a week, but then like you skip few weeks, or she like becomes clingy, and then I give her a time off, where I'm like a month,
Yeah.
and I don't text until she texts first. I've done shit like that when I felt it's necessary. But yeah, I normally see them like once a week, once 2 weeks. With others, once a month. I don't have a regularity. I do this based on how often I want to see them. But if you want to see a regular more than once a week, I think you are clingy bitch.
I still think you don't have enough regulars.
Yeah, then you don't have enough regulars. You aren't going on enough dates. So do not see a regular more than... I would even... Honestly, once a week is a lot, I think.
It is a lot. I can say that in a way, yes, it is a lot. But I don't know, the time that I had to do a schedule, I was like, fuck, I don't want to have to see all these people. It's good problems to have.
Yes.
It's better than having to be like, shit, I have no one. But yeah, I had to find ways to schedule, and I didn't want to take my Friday see a regular, Saturday see a regular, and then Sunday see a regular, because then I'm just like depleted. I didn't have my weekend. So yeah, it can be a problem sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah. What do you do with your regulars outside of bedroom?
So sometimes, let's see, drinks, dinner, like small dinners.
Outside,
yeah, because it would be like you can go to like not necessarily like formal dinners, but you can do like a small restaurant that has like Thai food type place, or like a noodle place with drinks or without drinks. It's almost always food and some kind of drink because I'm always hungry anyway. So like, what do you want to do? I'm like, let's get food. And after food, it's like to my place, or one of them will come and cook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she'll be like, hey, do you want me to make you breakfast, or like to make a meal, and we'll go buy stuff and she'll cook. And then, yeah, it's usually drinks that, or once I did this I did most recently. I just told a girl to come over. We got quick breakfast, and then she was supposed to go teach a student. She had like 30 minutes or something. No, she had an hour, and I was like, all right, let's take the train to my place. She's like, what? I'm like, you should schedule this better. And I was like, yeah, well, let's just do it. It'll be quick. I'll get you an Uber. And she's like, cool. So we go quickie, and then she's gone. But yeah, most of the time it's drinks or some kind of food thing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't normally go for, but like I don't eat out that much. I mostly cook, and drinks outside. I sometimes do it with friends or mostly on dates. I very rarely go with the regulars for drinks, and that's with like regulars that I've been seeing for a really long time. Or it's with girls I've seen for a really long time. I've been seeing for a long time. I will very rarely do anything outside my place with them. I could just go to a park, get an ice cream, sit under a tree, and talk about life. I've done that with regulars, but also like they were like being a bit like they needed it. I think it was a point where they kind of needed at least a little bit something outside my place, and I just kind of thought, okay, yeah, let's do that. But I still don't walk hand in hand with almost any of them, or I don't like do too much public shit with them. With most of them, only with a few of them I do any public shit. It was the strangest thing because I have this regular who has a boyfriend, Russian chick who has a boyfriend, and we were seeing each other once in a while, and she was totally fine with kissing in a completely public place in the city center with me, even though she has a boyfriend. I was really surprised about that. So yeah, I don't do much outside.
Are your dates like later in the evening, like much later in the evening, or
they're evening dates,
how late?
7-ish, 8-ish, 9-ish.
How are you not hungry at that time?
I've eaten something. Lately, since I do more and more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I might meet my regulars around 10 because my training ends at 9. I get home, it's almost 10. I maybe grab a quick snack on my way, maybe not, and then they come over, we have some wine, we fuck. It's more about convenience. One regular that we just drink wine and fuck with, and then she leaves, it's usually around 9-ish, 10-ish. It's pretty okay. With others, I know that I want to hang out with them, go to a park or something. I'll see them sooner, like earlier, like 6. But yeah, mostly it's evening. I don't know, chat, have wine, and fuck.
Yeah.
Go to bed. Make some naughty pictures.
Oh yeah, you have a camera, right? Or you just use your phone?
I just use my phone.
I have my DSLR, and it's just nudes on that.
The more I travel, the more regulars send me pictures. Even a Russian chick that I slept with in where are we? Serbia, Belgrade.
Yeah.
Even she, being back at her place, she keeps sending me some interesting naughty stuff. Even though we spent a few days together, and we know that we won't be seeing each other for at least the next 6 months, if ever. Well, I'm fine with that. I like pictures. That's my thing. How do you once you sleep with a girl for a few times? How do you keep her around? Is there anything specific you do, or?
Well, I try to make sure, and I guess this is for me, I try to make sure the sex is still interesting. And since I've been trying to get better and better at the bondage stuff, right now, most of my repeat, like every time they come over, it's either something new with bondage or something with toys.
Like them using strap-on on you?
Yeah. Yes, them using a strap-on. You should try it. It's pretty great.
No.
Yeah, no.
That was a joke?
It was a joke. Every single time I try to find something new to introduce into the play. So if it's not bondage, it's going to be toys. If it's not toys, it's going to be... I've done massage with like coconut oil. And it's...
Fisting.
Huh?
Fisting, eggplants.
No, not yet. But it's such an amazing how wet a girl could get from like just a massage, and the massage is just like the back.
Okay.
I did that. I started doing that, and I was really taken aback by just how wet they can get just from that. Like if you just like they're flat and you're behind them, and you like just rub them with the coconut oil. Of course, you have to work your way down eventually, but
I know.
Yes, that too. No, like you can definitely do a lot with that. So
Yeah.
I've done massage, I've done bondage, I've done bondage for sex and bondage artistically to take the photos. Use toys. I'm trying to figure out what I would do for the next ones. Anyways, I'm always trying to experiment. And as long as the experimentation is going on, it's interesting for me and it's fun for them.
Okay. So for massage, the only massage that is happening at my place is them massaging me. I do not massage girls. No, like, I don't know, I have like a lower back thing, and I just like I can't massage someone for too long. But I sometimes give them hints that so shit, I'm so tired. The massage would be so amazing. And I was do you have a massage? Oh, actually I do, and then boom, they go to work, and it's fucking amazing. And I think for my regulars, there are two ways that they stick around, and it's not something I do intentionally. I don't make them stick around intentionally. I make this interesting for me. I care about whether this is interesting for me, and for me, it's interesting. Like part of it is one thing I like. I like seeing a girl enjoying what we're doing. That's what gets me off like them.
Same here.
Yeah, and if one thing is opening them up sexually. Like if I know that she hasn't done much crazy shit and has fantasized about it, and I will introduce them to some crazy shit. I will do more and more and more. So that's one thing. And the other thing is being a really good fuck. That's important, but that's a different podcast that I will definitely do one day, how to be a really good fuck. Because there are some technical things for the geeky guys. I think being a good fuck consists of several things. One is definitely technical. There are things you can do technically that we spoke about today, like some books that I suggested you read. There are things that your animal side, how much you're letting yourself be yourself. Like, we all are freaks, and we just need to learn to let our freaky side go. And the third thing is really caring about the girl, because I do care about the girl and about girls, and I do care whether they like it, whether they come. I'll do. Not from the first time I'm fucking them, but in general, I will try to make them come. I have girls who can't come when they masturbate, but they can come with me. And that's some addictive shit. Once they started coming with me, and that was, I've been seeing this regular for like a year or so, even more now. And once she could come, she was fucking addicted. She started me sending, like, she's always really careful about what she sends because she's kind of a bit of a public personality. Now she sends me videos of her masturbating and shit like that just because how horny she is. And it can really do magic if you can be a good fuck, but that's definitely for another podcast. Let's get into something that I like to do with my regulars. Basically, we have two more things to talk about. We have my lovely topic of threesomes and an important topic, how to get rid of regulars, how to stop seeing a regular. And I have, I think, done a podcast on threesomes. I'm not sure, or written some blog posts, but I think I did a podcast on threesomes. Like, go back, look at the earlier episodes. There should be something. But in general, how do you set up a threesome with two regulars? It's very simple. And I've said this before several times, but well, I'll repeat it here. Maybe someone has been lazy and hasn't listened to the previous episodes. You sleep with a girl once, and after sleeping with her once or twice, you can talk about like crazier shit in bed, what type of girls she likes, what has she done, what hasn't she done, what's her. You don't talk about threesomes, but you just ask how she views girls, like has she ever done anything with a girl, and you will figure out her general stance on other girls. Is she bisexual? And you do the same thing with several girls. And once you meet two girls that you really feel would like each other, because that's where, like, when I set up a threesome, I make sure they will enjoy each other's company. I don't need the threesome for myself. I do the threesome for all of us.
You have to tell how you know that they enjoy each other. That's curious.
That's just a feeling. Like you see those personalities, and you say, "Oh, these two girls would really click." Yeah, and I've had cases where I had threesomes with regulars, but I know that I got these two girls together and these two girls, but there is no other combination of how I could mix them that would not work. So you do this with a few girls until you meet two girls that you know would click one with another, and you just say to one of the girls when you bang her, "Listen, by the way, I met this girl that you would really, really, I think, get along with. You would really like her." And you offer to have some wine. You don't say, "Oh yeah, let's have a threesome, let's fuck, woo!" No, you're just really simple. You say, "Listen, let's have some wine and let's see how we all feel together. Maybe we'll just have wine. Maybe we'll do something more."
And I remember there's one thing you would do where you'd step out to go get wine and you leave the girls by themselves. I remember you doing something like that, so they got to know each other.
Yeah, but that's like Well, basically, you set up the threesome as I just told, but there are things how to make the threesome happen. Go look in the old podcasts. There is an episode about threesomes. I'm really sure about that. I'm pretty sure about that. If not, send me a message. I'll find it and send it to you. Or make a new podcast on it. There is like a whole thing I did on how to have a threesome from 0 to
100.
From 0 to 100, yeah, to like double blowjobs. And one of those threesomes where I was banging these 2 chicks and I got kind of bored and I said to them, I have a friend who lives right nearby. I called the guys like, hey, you have 20 minutes to get to my place. He walks into my apartment and tell the girls go. They basically walks in, 2 minutes later, they're both on their knees sucking his dick.
I think I saw a photo of that.
There was a photo with blurred faces
Yes.
on the group chat, definitely, yeah.
I saw that a long time ago.
There was, yeah. So go listen to that podcast. It's way deeper on the topic of threesomes. No need to go over it now. And you said that you think you couldn't handle a threesome because it's a lot of work. And
yeah, so the amount of effort I usually if I'm having sex with a girl, it's going to be somewhere close to about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And I'm usually depleted. I'm just tired and exhausted. And when I think of threesomes, I'm like, if I was to put the same amount of effort, I just couldn't, right? So maybe I'm just thinking about this wrong and I shouldn't really be doing that much work. But
yes.
Just like, but just the thought of it is like, man, I can't do this twice. It's hard enough to do once.
Imagine you're laying on a bed and there are 2 chicks, one blonde, one brunette. They're sucking your dick simultaneously, each from her side.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
It's all right.
So go do that. Don't worry about like the work. For them it's a huge experience. They haven't done this before, so they're enjoying it. They'll play with one another. It's a crazy experience. You don't have to like fuck each one of them for an hour. It's totally not necessary. It's still a great adventure, and yeah. So fuck it. Just do it for yourself, and they will enjoy each other's company. Make sure they're comfortable one with another, and it will be amazing. Okay, and threesomes. We are very well connected to the last topic of the day, how to get rid of a girl that is one of your regulars, because you said that you were in this.
Right, yeah. So, of course, yes, I had this point where I had a nice pipeline, and at some point I was like, you know what, I'm spending a lot of time, right, setting up these dates. Like, my month is almost taken up. I'm still trying to day game, right, because day game never ends. Until you die or something, who knows. But, yeah, at some point I started to value my time more, and I was like, all right, I know who I really, would sacrifice my time for, and I know who I don't really want to do that. Sometimes you'd rather jack off than hang out with them. Or maybe not. Who knows? But they're not that shitty fucks. But it's like, I want my time back, right?
Like that, yes.
I want my time back. So I'm like, all right, who would I let go? Who would I cut off, right? If this was a company and you had limited resources, you need to let someone go. I haven't yet let anyone go, and I'm not the ghosting type. I don't like to just all of a sudden cut off contact. So I have no idea yet.
I think it's a very weak move to just ghost a girl. It's just avoiding responsibility, because the one important thing is with the regulars, and we didn't speak about it, it's an important topic. You are responsible for your regulars. You are responsible for not fucking up their good years. If she's 22, really hot, and she's clingy and only sees you even though she knows you're fucking other girls, well, you're kind of fucking up her best years. And it's your responsibility to once in a while post a picture on Instagram with another girl, post stories with another girl, not respond to her for a day, not see her for a month, maybe, just so that she would have a reality check, that she would remember that, oh wait, this isn't a relationship. I still have to think about my future. That's a bit of a sidetrack, but. Also, getting or stopping seeing a girl, there is a responsibility to it, and I think ghosting is just a weak ass move.
Yeah. In addition, I think it's just terrible communication. And if you are the kind of person who runs away from such situations by just ignoring them, it's going to trickle into everything else in your life, because that's how you would treat it.
You're a bit of a dick, yeah. There are two things I do. One is, I try to set up threesomes. And if she's a girl that I can't find anyone, I tell her to bring a friend, bring another girl. I can just say, like, listen, I'm really, like, just regular sex doesn't do it for me that much. Like, I don't know, like, I'm sorry, I'm just fucked up person. I know. Like, just bring a friend and let's fuck. And whenever they bring up seeing me, I'll just say, yeah, sure, let's set some threesome up. Let's set something up. What's up? Like, bring a friend. And I will just not see them unless it's for a threesome. And I've gotten rid of several regulars like that. If a girl just keeps texting me nonstop, like, hey, are you free? Hey, like almost every day I've had these cases. Then I might really explain that, listen, I like seeing you, but there is, like, I like seeing someone not because I have to, but because I really feel like it. And they will complain that, yeah, well, you don't come around when I want sex, but whenever you want sex, I have to come around. It's like, no, you don't. I offer you, if you want, you can come over. If you don't, you don't have to come over. You don't have to do anything. So this complaint is immediately neutralized. So I'll just openly say, like, yeah, I will gladly see you, but like when we're both in a mood, I don't want to see you just because, like, I mean, come on. I think I've openly said to girls, like, come on, like, go get laid. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not my responsibility to fuck you. I said, I'm not in a relationship because I don't like that. I like my freedom of seeing someone only when I want to. And they kind of get it. And have I had to really tell someone that I don't want to see them? When I started day gaming, my problem was that a lot of the girls I slept with once became regulars, and I just told them, yeah, well, I don't do this regularly. Like, sorry, I like you, but like I don't sleep with people on a regular basis. So that's it. I had this amazing regular, my neighbor in Riga, who had amazing, huge fake tits. Very, very, very beautiful girl. Really, really nice. Good in bed. Deep-throated from the first time. Like, I could throat fuck her however the fuck I wanted. She was like crazy. And whenever I went to her place, the table was set up with snacks and good wines and everything. She really took care. But I don't know. I got kind of... It was too much, and I just stopped seeing her that regularly. And she just, I think, got offended for a while, and then we stopped seeing each other. And because girls will often not text first, and you feel like you have to text them, but if you don't, well, they kind of understand what's going on, and that's yeah. So either try to set up threesomes, tell them that, well, you both have to want to meet. You don't just want to meet because they want to meet. You can openly say, hey, like, it was nice, but I don't really. I'm in the state at, I'm at a state in my life where I really need to, like, explore this path. And that's the line I used when I started day gaming.
That's true. That's the it sounds like the one that you make when you're like, hey, if they wanted to go into a relationship, you're like, I'm at this point in my life, I cannot get into a relationship because that's not where I'm at.
Yeah, that's a good line.
But how are you gonna change that? How are you gonna translate that to where you?
Well, she wants to bang.
So yeah, you're like, I'm at this place where I don't want to have a regular sex anymore.
Yes, with one person. I just need my. Yeah, you can say that.
You mean that often? Because really.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I think it's completely fine. You can be really frank and honest with them about how you feel. You don't have to lie or ghost them or. They might get a bit hurt, but, well, I mean, come on.
They'll get over it.
Yeah, I mean, how many times a girl has went on a date and never fucked you? Didn't you get a bit hurt?
I know. So many times.
So, I mean, you can once in a while fuck a girl and never see her again. And if she thinks that's evil, then well, there was this nice video that I posted in the Day Game Church chat about the Tinder where the girl is really hot in the pictures, but shows up in hijab. And this is like hidden camera thing where they try to see how guys would react. And most of the guys are like, what the fuck is this? They stand up and leave. And she's like, so rude.
Yeah, there was that part where like some guy just left and she, you know that thing where you get blanked on the street where a girl literally don't exist and you just freeze and you look at her as she's walking off and you're just trying to address that whole situation. She looked like that and I was like, wow, she's feeling it. We get that all the time.
She's feeling like a day gamer feels. So I really think the weakest, when you feel you don't want to see the girl anymore, the weakest thing for you and for the girl, like it's a very weak move, is not to do anything and keep seeing her or ghost. That's very, very weak. So just take responsibility about the shit, about the situation you've put yourself in and deal with it in one of the ways that we just discussed. Anything else you want to add on the topic of harem, banging chicks?
Maybe we'll figure out, when we figure out orgies, we'll have to make a podcast on that.
Yeah, I've only done a foursome, like some threesomes and a foursome.
You only need to add one more person.
To make an orgy. I have guys who are really good at that shit.
Yeah.
I have guys that set up regular sex parties at their place. They open girls everywhere, not that much on the streets, but like social situations. They go on one date. This guy, he goes on one date and then he invites them over to a party to his apartment. Mm-hmm. Hasn't slept with them before, and well, tries to set it up, tries to end the party as an orgy every time.
Oh, by the way, one of my last pickups before I did this trip was this sex researcher who was like, I think I casually mentioned sex party, and she's like, I should take you to one.
Yes.
I'm a little bit hesitant. Again, I don't know how I'm going to fuck all those people.
You can talk about that with her.
Figure it out, right?
Because I've taken girls that I haven't slept with to that guy's party. And, well, we didn't end up banging, but she got shy once one other girl started sucking guy's dick in front of us. She got kind of a bit shy at that point, and I could still try to work it, but it didn't happen. Never saw her again, but that's her problem. I didn't really give a fuck about her.
That's so surreal.
Well, anyways, if you are day gaming, first of all, for most guys, this probably is like interesting to listen to, but it's not the reality of a regular day gamer.
It's true. I was that guy last year, July, listening to Tom's podcast. I was like, fuck these guys. Yeah. I'm kind of now in it, not too far, but it's very funny.
You were there.
I was like, fuck Robert.
Fuck this that guy. Motherfucker, like fucking chicks like a maniac.
I know, right?
But you're there now, and you arrived here. You banged the hot milk with amazing body on your third day in Belgrade.
It was third. No, shit. Yeah, third day.
So you were the first one to get a local flag here. Well, it doesn't really count as a flag, but still, to bang a local. So you were there, but to an average day gamer listening to this might be like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like, it's nice to listen, but yeah, how the fuck do I get there? And I recently created a video series about how to better learn day game, because guys are progressing in day game very, very shortly. So I made a 6-day free video course which is called the 3 Pillars of Learning Day Game, which explains 3 phases you go through when you are learning day game. I explain each of the phases, how to succeed in that phase and get to the next phase faster. What are the typical typical challenges guys have in each stage, and how to overcome them, and how to become better and better at day game. And that's definitely something that will help you to build a harem, to get better at day game and get more regulars. If you want to sign up for the free course, it's completely for free. It's available on my website. So just go to saintrobert.blog. And there is a big caption on my website, what are you struggling most with right now? And there are 2 options, approach anxiety or learning day game faster. So click on the learning day game faster course You just have to enter your email, and you will get emails 6 days in a row explaining the 3 pillars of day game. If you are already successful in day game but wanna figure out more about how to run your harem and talk to me about that, then it's very simple. Just get a fucking Skype consultation and I will help however I can. Info about Skype consultations isn't on my website, but just shoot me an email and I'll tell you more about how that happens. So guys, thank you for listening. These are our last days in Belgrade, Serbia.
Potentially.
Sorry?
Potentially for me.
Yeah.
No, it is last days anyway.
It is last days anyway, and then I'm going afterwards to Riga for a week to see my regulars, meet friends, family, and then I'm going to another day game destination, a bit warmer than Europe, a bit warmer than Riga, but still it will be autumn there. But I'm going there for 1 month. I'll keep it secret. What are your plans after?
I'm a bit of a nomad. I may end up with you, or I don't know. I may stay here to try and close my leads. I'm so close, I think. Who knows? I may join you, but we'll see.
We'll see. Okay, guys. Well, by the way, a little seeding. After New Year's, I will probably go to Portugal. And in spring, when it gets cold, I will go to, almost no one knows about this yet, I will go to this magical country of the hottest girls in the world, which many say is tough, but my experience with girls from there is amazing, and I don't think it will be that bad, especially after Belgrade, which is a land of blowouts. I am going to Mother Russia. So if you want to join in the spring for some day game coaching in Mother Russia, then hit me up, because I will be there for only 1 month, which means I can coach 3 guys. I can normally coach 3 guys per month. Anything more than that, and I'm fucking dead. So that's it. If you have any more questions, ask them in the Day Game Church group chat, which you can join by going to my website, strobert.blog. That's it. Thank you from St. Robert and
Mr. T.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.